this journey that you've been on, what has been your most proudest achievement so far?
So I would say that the proudest achievement, it's going to be an accumulation of the network and the connections that I've built along the way. Uh,
Mm,
just being able to look back at whether it be on Facebook, LinkedIn, or hey, they give me a phone call, someone that I used to lead in the past. Sharing with me their new adventure, a new promotion, or they're entering a new stage in their life. Just knowing that I had enough impact on their life that they wanted to share that with me,
mhm.
or that hey, because of you, I've got to do X, Y, and Z.
The Collaborative Entrepreneur. Okay, everybody, welcome once again to the Collaborative Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Tracy Currington. I have a great guest with you, another entrepreneur who's like-minded, like-valued with all of us on the call today. And this show, the whole reason that we exist is because we want to build partnerships to help grow our business. That's why it's the Collaborative Entrepreneur. And if you're wondering about the name, an entrepreneur is just basically someone who is operating, maybe they're bringing a business forward, maybe like the one that I have on the show today, it's multiple businesses that they've been involved in, and they're really willing to take more than normal risks in order to have what they want to have, to bring something forward that they want to bring forward. And just collaboration is, in my view, a little bit different than cooperation. Cooperation kind of highlights we have to be in the room together. So since we have to work together, let's try to make the best of it. Collaboration means I want to be there. I want to work together with this party to bring something forward that together that we can use, that we can serve other people with it. So that's why it's the Collaborative Entrepreneur. And I'm so glad and so honored that you made it to the call today. I have an entrepreneur that is my guest on here, and is also my friend. And I've been collaborating with him in different businesses for the last couple of years. I know he's going to add value to you. So like we always do, let's begin this way. Have you ever wanted to delve into the mind of someone that it appears from the outside, they're willing to do things that you are not willing to do yet? Or maybe they're gaining some results that you would like to have in your life. You just want to know, how does their mind work, and how do they get to be where they are today? Well, if that's you, you have come to the right place, my friend, because on the Collaborative Entrepreneur, that's what our aim is. Our aim is to bring people onto this program that can help add value to you. And generally speaking, I take a lot of notes. And so I've got page and page and page that he can fill up for us today. And no doubt the questions we'll ask him fill out pages for you as well. So on the call today, I have a young entrepreneur who finds comfort in the chaos. And I want you to remember that, because I already shared that with him. He knows it's true. And he likes coming in where there's disorder, where there's disorganization, and bring structure. But I want to say this also, he knows this about himself. While he finds comfort in the chaos, and while he loves to bring things that are in disarray into order, he also finds boredom in the routine. And that's what, I mean, this is those type of people that you're going to come across. And that's why he's on the program today, because he's like a gentle giant when it comes to disorganization and the chaos. He finds a way to navigate through it, bringing structure to it. And then once he's built it, he's on to the next thing. So I know that you're going to gain a lot of value from his life, what he's learned and what he's been involved in. Our conversation, we're going to look into his story. We're going to look into how he approaches business, the wins he has, the learns he has, and then the business that he's in right now is really, really going to help you, because it's in more of a recruiting. And one of the biggest struggles for businesses today is finding and keeping the right people for their organization. I know he's going to add valuable insights and lessons that he's learned that's going to help you in your entrepreneurial journey. And so get yourself a cup of coffee or tea. I've got coffee today because it's kind of midday for me, and I need to have the coffee intake. It's kind of like my IV drip. And so get your pen and notebook. I've got mine. I'm ready to take notes also, and get ready to learn from my guest entrepreneur. His name is Myles Perry. Myles, welcome to the call today.
All right. Well, thank you for having me, Tracy. It's nice to be here. Good.
Excellent. So I know our listeners are going to want to know your backdrop. Give us give us the 3 to 5 minute bio sketch. Tell us about yourself. And that doesn't have to start, I was born at a young age in a hospital where I could be near my mother. It doesn't have to be that way, but like, tell us about your journey. Like, where did it all begin to you? And then bring us up to where you are today.
Okay. So I am born and raised in small town, Oklahoma, Madill, Oklahoma, smallest county in the state. And so I started my professional career there at McDonald's. And so I worked at McDonald's through high school, and shortly before before graduating, was promoted up to management, and joined the leadership team there. Shortly after graduating, became a general manager for McDonald's, and managed several locations for a local franchise. A couple years into that, I transitioned to more of the hotel side of the hospitality industry, and helped open a beautiful Courtyard by Marriott in lovely Ardmore, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And so, yes. So did that for a couple years, and enjoyed it. And then had an opportunity to just a little bit, just kind of get you to where I am now. After Courtyard, I had an opportunity to, be in more of an entrepreneur role, and open up a couple of, or take over some struggling Sears hometown store franchises, and did that for a little bit before transitioning out of the business. Looked back into hospitality, and now I am I'm in a recruiting business. So just a little bit of history there.
Yeah, thank you very much for that trip down memory lane. And for many of my listeners, that might have been exhausting for you because I got to walk with him along the way. In fact, my two oldest sons got to work with this young entrepreneur as he served in one of the McDonald's, being their first job, and he got to be one of their supervisors, one of their bosses. And then from there, in the hotel industry, I don't know if they just chased down his management style, his leadership, but they also found him over at the Courtyard Marriott also. So I've been connected with Myles for a little bit, and then also the Chick-fil-A. You were there for a little bit, just a little bit, and my boys got to be working with you alongside of that. Kind of your journey from the McDonald's, especially in Ardmore, and my son's journey and just coming into the workforce kind of coincided a little bit. And so, by the way, if I've never shared this with you before, thank you for the investment you made into my children.
Oh, well, it was my pleasure.
Of course it was. Well done. I'm glad that I know Mr. David would love to hear you say that if you could get a hold of this episode. And then the Sears. Oh man, I was just thinking about that. I mean, we got to do some work together with mastermind sessions and everything at the Courtyard, and working together with, I think we put Financial Peace University together when you were at the Courtyard. And then I remember from there transitioning into, if I remember right, 3 Sears hometown franchises.
So we started with 1, and one's never enough, right?
Of course, not for you.
So no, right. So shortly after we took over the 1, our district manager approached me, and she's like, hey, the other location that we were looking at when we were discussing this one, is still available if you're interested in running 2. And I thought, can I do it? And so obviously, up for a challenge. Like you mentioned earlier, I like the chaos. We kind of, the one store that we took over was, of the 2, was more stable of the 2. And so, it didn't take much to kind of get things rolling. And so, I needed a challenge. And so we took on the second location. And, the challenge there, the biggest challenge there was the distance. One store were in, Texas, East Texas, and the other store was in, Southwest Arkansas. And so there was a distance there. And so that was challenging, but, we worked through that. And so well that they approached me about another store, brand new store. another location in Texas, closer to the first store. So, we entertained that and ended up pursuing it as well. So, yep, up with 3.
So as an entrepreneur, knowing that, just by your history, and thank you for sharing all that with us, by your resume, taking on more challenge and more risk than the normal person would take on, assuming responsibility, not just for one business, but multiple businesses all at one time. Is it, is it a compulsion? What is it within you that compels you to like, no, I know I got more in the tank, or what, how can you describe that for our listeners?
Compulsion, that's a good one. I mean, I think that, I like the challenge, and I enjoy seeing things, the potential in a person or in the business, seeing that potential and seeing where it's at today, strategizing with the team to figuring out what we can do to get us to our full potential. And I think that just, it kind of drives everything that I do, really. And so I don't know. And if we're not, working towards, reaching our fullest potential, or if we've gotten really close and it's kind of, we're in the day-to-day consistent routine, kind of like you mentioned earlier, just get bored.
Yeah, right.
And
what, is there something, I love how you mentioned about looking at the way things are today, looking at what they could be, and then strategizing how we can get there. Is there a method or a framework that you use to just consider like the potential? How do you know that something has potential? Because I remember those 3 stores, especially the Sears. I remember the maybe 1 or 2 hotels that you were in by an airport, it seemed like, or something like that. And like just recognizing that this has potential, how much potential does it have? And then once you get out there, now I know there's an exit strategy. I need to put this person in place to where I can move on because I think I've ceilinged out here. How do you know the potential? How do you see the potential?
So really, a lot of it with the locations I've been involved with is just history. They've done better, in the past, and with the right people in place, or with different people in place. And then sometimes it's just, and so seeing that history, okay, so I know at least we could be doing this. But then, that still, with the right people, we could actually, exceed that and excel beyond it. And I think, I don't know how to describe it, and where, I don't know. I think it's just a matter of people. I know that with the right team in place, sky's the limit. Regardless of obviously location is important. Industry, it depends on the industry as far as how far you can take it. But I think that I'm kind of rambling here.
No, that component that you said about, my mind went to intuition. Like the more you do it, the more you see. And like you said, like, man, I'm trying to think of the word to describe. And from my own experience, it's just, sometimes it's just, I'm just going to jump. I'm going to jump. And like when we say about risk averse, one thing that you and I have reflected on a couple of times in masterminds is just taking action. Even if you don't know it, it may not be the right thing, but like, I'm going to do something. And then once I get the results, I can evaluate the results, I can improve the results, and then I can try again. And I think that starts with this intuition. Like, I just feel like this could be something.
Right. Yeah.
And then when you said about the people, I was connecting that to it. It's just it's kind of like a no brainer about where you're at today, because you're so strong with the right kind of team, we can get more done than what we got. So historical data lets us know what we've always done before. We know we can at least do that.
Right.
But with the right kind of people, if I develop them, we can do way more than that.
Exactly.
And so being in where you're at right now with, can you share it with like the recruiting firm that you're in right now? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So right now I own and manage a recruiting firm partnered with Goodwin Recruiting. And, basically what we do is, we connect top talent with, companies that are across the nation that are looking for looking to fill open roles. And so, there's over 100 recruiting partners that, we all are partnered together and assist fill all of our open positions. But at the end of the day, we're just, our companies have a position to fill. And, we find high quality candidates and people really that are looking for an opportunity, and sometimes they're not. I placed someone, last month. She wasn't even looking. I just came across her profile on LinkedIn, and I thought, she would be a good fit for so-and-so. I wonder if she wants to talk to him. And so, I got on the phone with her, and she said, I'm really not looking, but I'll hear you out. I'll talk to him. And so we talked it through, and she got to visit with them and fell in love with the opportunity. And she started last week and is super, super excited about the direction that she never knew she needed to take.
Wow. So, that's so fast. That's a great example of, I think it's Mark Miller, who's done a lot of work with Chick-fil-A. And he said that top talent already has a job.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's great. Wow, what a great strategy just to give the opportunity. I mean, a lot of people that have a job, maybe it's not doing it for them right now, but they're just not looking for exit signs.
Right. Or they're comfortable, and so they're not applying. So you can post an ad, say I'm X, Y, and Z company, and I post an ad, and I'm busy, I'm in operations. And so I get a couple of emails, a couple of resumes, and I'll review those. But until I find a good one applies to my job, you're still going to have that position open.
Yeah.
And so the neat thing about, partnering with Goodwin Recruiting is we get to kind of connect them with people that may not apply.
Yeah.
Folks that aren't necessarily looking, but, we've either built the connection with them in the past, or, we have access to them in a way that someone that's hard in operations doesn't have access. So.
I was thinking, my mind went to matchmaking, the dating sites where it's hey, this guy is looking for this person is looking for this, and bringing the two. That's a good win, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. So all the things you've done, so some from high school, already being in leadership, just before you graduate over at McDonald's, from there, tracing a line to where you are right now. This journey that you've been on, what has been your most proudest achievement so far?
So I would say that the proudest achievement, it's going to be an accumulation of the network and the connections that I've built along the way. Just being able to look back at, whether it be on Facebook, LinkedIn, or, hey, they give me a phone call, someone that I used to lead in the past, sharing with me their new adventure, a new promotion, or they're entering a new stage in their life. Just knowing that I had enough impact on their life that they wanted to share that with me, or that, hey, because of you, I've got to do X, Y, and Z. There's an accumulation of that over the years, and I think that is my most proud achievement, and I think that's what makes me continue to do what I'm doing.
I love that. There again, that people aspect, the compounding effects of meeting new people, of working with new people, of adding value to new people, of maybe seeing those people go off to do bigger and better things.
Yes. Absolutely.
What about the so every entrepreneur that I've ever met has something that they do to grow themselves, to develop themselves. And I don't know that they ever say this, but they not arrive, but they're always arriving. So what do you do about growing yourself?
So I'm always reading. And I know a lot of what we're taught is, we always need to be, we need to read X amount of books a year, read X amount of material a year. And I think that I don't track how many books I read, because if I'm honest with you, I don't read a lot of books in whole. But I read a lot of material, and whether it be via online or I'll piece things out of books. So I'll go through and, I'll go through the chapter list. Okay, this chapter resonates with me and where I'm at right now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm going to go in and read that chapter and then pull what I can out of that for what I'm, needing in this particular moment, and then go on. So I don't necessarily read the entire book every time, unless I'm in a, mastermind session, which is another way. So I've invested in myself and in my staff in the past with some John Maxwell mastermind sections, some Grant Cardone sessions, and TMC coaching. I've done some sessions with you guys, and that is also a way to continue growing and developing myself. And I think that's really important because, and it's just like I told my leaders, in operations, you cannot offer your staff something you don't have.
That's so true.
I can't offer, anyone that I influence, I can't offer them anything that I don't have, So it's like filling one cup into another. At some point, you're gonna have to refill my cup. So I have to recharge and refill myself and re-challenge myself and reevaluate where I am so that I can truly invest and lead, my team.
Well, I enjoyed that's a great approach to, more of a concentrated approach when you take a book, open up the fly leaf, check out the table of contents, and say, I think this will speak to me, instead of taking it 1, 2, 3, as a whole.
And see, I've always done that. Growing up, at school, they always give you had to read X amount of books a week or whatever. And, I always went towards non-fiction books. I wanted to learn something from it, something that was real. The fairy tales and the stories. I mean, that's great, but I can watch a movie for that. I'd rather read something and actually be able to take away an actual concept from it. And so I've always kind of done that and just kind of skim through, see the book that I thought I could learn the most from, and that's the book that I would choose to read this week. And that just kind of stuck with me growing up. And
what about like when you feel stuck or overwhelmed? I know that like every entrepreneur shares, through their journey. In fact, I just experienced this like 2 weeks ago, where I wasn't down, but I could feel it. I could feel like, I needed the domino to fall, because if that domino fell, it meant this would fall too, right? And so because as an entrepreneur, you're thinking a couple of steps ahead, because everything's going in the direction of the overarching goal that you're aiming for. And it's not just this, but it's the 5 things that come as a result of this. When you feel overwhelmed or when you feel stuck as an entrepreneur, what's your go-to?
So what I've learned, because at first, coming into the entrepreneurial world, I didn't know, I got stuck and I was just like, okay, well, what do I do? But now that I've done it a few years, I think that the best thing for me is just kind of pause, take a step back and get back to basics. So first thing, I may watch a documentary or a movie or read some material that kind of gets me fired up, that I know has got me fired up in the past. And I make sure that I refresh my playlist. I have a playlist just for motivation and for work and things that playlist that I listen to during business hours in between calls, so that I can stay upbeat, stay positive, and stay motivated throughout the day. But then just make sure that my routine is in place. I'm a people person, and so especially getting into recruiting and remote recruiting at that, a lot of my interviews and candidate sourcing and client visits are virtual, and so I don't get to spend time with a lot of people. So I have to make sure that my routine includes that people interaction, or else I'll get demotivated because I don't feel like I'm actually making an impact on people, even though I'm talking to you on Zoom, but I can't shake your hand.
Right.
Can't touch your shoulder. I can't do anything like that. And so that's just not the same. So I have to make sure that is implemented in my routine. But just making sure that you know, like I said, figure out what motivates you, and you know, focus back in on that. Have a good music playlist that you can listen to when you're down, and then make sure that your routine is consistent.
Yeah, I love that. I love that component of I'm also a people person, and you know, COVID, when it came around, and there was this like threat of like, what? I can't be around people. I can't, you know, be in proximity, breathe their air, shake their hands, love on them, grow with them, be across the table for them, being side by side with them, being business with them. Right. And that was a challenge to like be on calls like this and like kind of get used to that. Even though we're not in proximity, we can still feel, we can bring that energy. I had a great compliment was given to me by a person I really admire. And she said that when you're on the call holding the space with somebody else, there's a soul and an energy that you bring to it that can be felt, even though you're virtual. And I thought that was and I think I had to learn that through trial and error of like, well, if I can't have it in person and this is all that I can have, let me make the best of it.
Make the best of it. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's so great. Thank you for sharing all that. Okay, now bring me into, because I think I'm seeing a line, like it's kind of a no-brainer why Goodwin Recruiting would be where you're at. But tell me, how did you know? Like, how did you know that recruiting was even something that you wanted to explore, and especially Goodwin Recruiting firm itself?
I didn't. I had no idea. I did not. I stumbled upon one of the internal recruiting partners, you know, during my networking, and she talked to me about the partnership, and you know, hey, you know, if you thought about running your own business, absolutely, I have. You know, I love it. You know, and so she kind of you know, just brought light to what we do at Goodwin Recruiting. You know, we help connect quality candidates and quality people looking to make a change, or maybe they're not, but you know, with companies that have a need. And you know, basically what we do is change lives and enhance businesses. And so in a nutshell, that's what we do. And so that's what I love to do, you know, change the lives of the people that I influence and lead, but then also, you know, enhance the businesses that I'm involved with. And so that's it was a no-brainer once she got into it.
And when you said, so I maybe I got all this right, I hope so. We help connect quality people looking to make a change with businesses having a need. And I was like, duh. I mean, like, that's your MO. That's what you've been doing. I mean, like, because I know from on the inside story, it would almost be like somebody speaking your mission statement for life.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just, you know, she explained it to me, and you know, I said, yeah, I need to try that. I need to check it out, see what it's about. At least explore it.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing so far about Goodwin Recruiting?
I think my favorite thing is that I am the actual creator of my own success. You know, there's no, you know, there's no limit to the business. You know, I can work as little, as much as I would like. The earning potential is, you know, as high as I want to set the bar.
Right.
And you know, that it's flexible. You know, I can work from anywhere. And so, you know, I can recruit from the house. I can go to my mom's and visit for a week and recruit from her house, you know, and I'm still getting to help people be successful. And so it's nice.
That's awesome. I love that. That, to me, in a word, it describes freedom. Like that, that's one of my core values. I love my freedom. Yeah. What about so in your life, with all the people that you've networked with and met, and you got a lot of following and things like that, what would be one principle that you've applied to your life that when people think of your name, they think of your life, they think of like, that's Myles, right? That's just who you are. It comes out in the conversations, it comes out in even the emails you send, or the interactions that people would have with you. What's that one principle of life that you live out consistently? I
think that it is and it hasn't always been this way. I had to learn it, and somebody had to teach me, and it was hard lessons to learn. But over time, it clicked, and I did it, and I did it again, and it clicked, and I was like, okay, yeah, if I just keep doing this, then it'll keep working for me. Mm-hmm. And so it is that if you put your people or your team first, then they will take care of your guests. They will take care of you and your lives, and your business, will thrive. And so that was something that I had to, was always, okay, our numbers have to be good. We have to meet our targets. We have to, and I'm always results driven. But, once I shifted that, I'm still results driven, but I've put the people in front of the results. And so if I'm people driven, the results will come, and I can drive the results by set my team up for success, putting them first, their needs first, finding out what drives them, what motivates them, and then using that to help drive my results. Mm-hmm. And so that, one of my old leaders, Isabel, I borrowed from McDonald's. So she was my first, second GM there. And, she's the one promoted me up as her assistant. And that's something she would always say, you have to take care of your team. You have to take care of your people. And I didn't listen at first. I can tell you right now. I needed my results, and I knew how to get them. And so that's, we did what we could to get the result. But then once I made that shift, it made a world of difference. So
yeah. Well, what a great lesson. And generally speaking, those principles that somebody else shows us in life, we remember the person, we remember the principle, we live it out. Zig Ziglar said, you help enough people get what they want, they'll help you get what you want.
Yes.
And I was on a call earlier today with a man, and we were talking about how that your greatest competitive advantage in business is the right people in your organization.
Absolutely.
And somebody said one time that your greatest asset are people. But if you got the wrong people on your team, that would not be a good advantage. But then also I was thinking about an asset, like a computer is an asset, a car is an asset, a chair is an asset, but like people are they're an advantage. They're not an asset, like they're not a tool by which we get things done. They're a soul, right? So I love that. I love that philosophy. I share that. No doubt we've worked together enough to where we share a lot of the same skill sets and trademarks that highlight our life. So go ahead.
Go ahead.
What was it you're gonna say?
Well, I was just gonna say, and then the biggest piece that she brought out in that is that, she would say, Myles, you're impulsive. You're impulsive. You're making impulsive decisions. Well, yes, they didn't do what I needed them to do, so I wrote them up, sent them home. Yeah. So, she said, you can't be so impulsive. You have to invest in the people, invest in your team, invest in your leaders, and then you'll get to see them, blossom a little bit more. You won't have to, not micro, I was micromanaging, I guess. So you won't have to micromanage. You can trust that they're going to do what you need them to do because you invested time and resources and additional training and support into them, and built that relationship with them that they're going to do whatever they can to take care of you. And so that's, any asset per se that you acquire, you want to invest in it. You don't want to just buy it as is and then just, okay, well, that's it. Well, you have to add value to that asset. You want to add value to your team, to your people. And I think that's a big part of that lesson that she taught me. So
that's great. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. What about the if there's one trait that you're looking right now to learn that's going to benefit your business? I know me, when we're taking risk all the time, we have to grow, and we got to step out of our comfort zones and stuff like that. What's the one trait that you're looking to learn right now for your business that you see this is going to benefit me in the future?
I think I need to not reevaluate. I need to hone in on my decision making.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is I tend to overanalyze certain things or decisions that I need to make. And instead, I need to just need to make the decision and do it. If it's the wrong decision, you'll learn quickly, and then you can make another decision to do something different. And so, but the 30 minutes to an hour that you spent analyzing it, you could have made the wrong decision or the right one, and been and then adjusted accordingly and been done with it, in 10, 15.
Yeah. That's so true. So true. Yeah. And if you're looking to save some time, go ahead and make the mistake now. That way you got it out of the way.
Right. To make the mistake now, learn from it. And then next time you'll make a better decision.
Absolutely. So, yeah. Because no one wants to be embarrassed by the same mistake twice.
Exactly.
Right. We'll go be embarrassed by another mistake.
Right.
Yeah. What about, so someone's watching the call right now, they're listening in, they're really connected with what you've got going on and the experience that you have. What advice would you give them as far as like they're in the preparation stage? Maybe they're preparing to launch something, or they're preparing to go, maybe they quit their job to launch a business. What advice would you give them as far as an entrepreneur that either somebody gave it to you or you wish somebody would have said?
I would say that so it's two folds to this. So okay. One, I would say do not wait too long to take action.
Okay.
You take action now. Time is, is not your friend in that, as far as overthinking, you can talk yourself out of it if you wait too long. To take action, you wait too long and not see the result, you can get discouraged. Take action, make a list, start marking things off, start seeing progress as soon as you can. I think that's number one. And then two, it is a process, and it's not going to happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight. So I would say, don't be so hard on yourself. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy, the chaos while it's here, because eventually it'll be gone and you'll be bored. You'll have small doll problems and you'll be bored. And so then you'll be looking for the next order of chaos. So, so enjoy it, but don't wait too long to take action, move quickly.
And that is totally your MO. I love that thought of, because I just know your history and just like enjoy the chaos while you have it. Because you keep on committing that action and you're not going to have that chaos. You're going to bring order to it. And now if it's routine, you're going to be stuck in it. You're going to be bored. So enjoy it while you got it.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, okay. So how can people connect with you, learn more about Goodwin Recruiting, what you're doing now, how they can just connect with you? Is there a social media, an email? What is it?
Yeah. So a couple different ways. So connect with me on LinkedIn, Myles Perry. On LinkedIn, and so then also you can connect with me on TikTok. Myles the Road Running Recruiter.
Woo!
So
Myles the Road Runner.
Recruiting tips for both candidates and then also for companies that are looking for talent as well. And then yes, of course, email is always great. So if you're looking for a position, or if someone, you have an open position, not having luck getting it filled, we can always assist. My email is mperry@goodwinrecruiting.com.
Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for taking the call with me and spending some time with me today.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure to be here, and always happy to visit with you, Tracy. It's always a good time.
Yeah, that's right. I feel the same way. And by the way, those listening, that you stayed with us all the way to the end of the call, thank you for joining us and viewing the call with me, following TMC Coaching and the Collaborative Entrepreneur. You can learn more about me and what I do online at tmccoaching.org. You can email me also. Hit me up at tracy@tmccoaching.org to where you find out how we can work together. I do a lot of work with hospitality, with a lot of QSR work, but I also I work with one-on-one individual coaching clients, helping executives all the way down to their introductory team members, the hiring processes, and all those things. So if you'd like to work with me, you can find more about that at those places. Until next time, y'all, surround yourself with great people just like Myles that can elevate your thinking, can inspire you to dig deep and do more. Until next time.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Collaborative Entrepreneur Podcast. Be sure to like and follow and turn on notifications for future episodes launching every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're an entrepreneur wanting to be on the podcast, you can let us know by emailing us at tracy@tmccoaching.org. Let us know the industry you're in, as well as your biggest wins and learns that you've achieved along the way. If you want to find out how you can work with Tracy in other ways, you can do so on all major social media platforms under 180 Turnarounds. You can also find us on our website at 180turnarounds.com. So until next time, guys, let's win together.